Welcome back. I wanted to start this one off. It's a little bit of a different one. It's more a little bit about growth and addiction and everything else. But the first thing that I wanted to touch on was the fact that I've weirdly received some negativity, if you will. The people that are listening to this that have thrown the negativity, it's not necessarily directly from you, but it's from other people. And I just want to let you know that this is definitely not for you. If you're going to shit talk, if you're not going to be positive, if you're not going to be a part of the team, aka my team, my tribe, my people, then that's okay. You don't have to listen. However, if you are listening and you are throwing some shade, but you're not really too sure why you're throwing some shade, or you're watching this and you're going, why is he even doing this? Who's listening to this? Like, truth of the matter is, I don't really care. I don't really care if anyone is actually listening to it. If you are, that's amazing. If you're not, that's cool. You don't have to. But if you're doing it secretly, and then you're throwing shade on it secretly, and I'm finding out about it, it's not for you. You don't have to listen to it. But I have also been where you are. And it's probably time that you should look a little bit closer inside of yourself. And I know it might sound cliche. Oh, look inside yourself. Like maybe you're missing something. No, you are. And I say that because I've been there. I've been the person throwing shade on people that are doing better, and I'm not saying that I'm doing better, but that are doing different things. People are terrified of change. And if you're throwing shade on that because someone is changing or evolving or getting better in their lives, well, then you should definitely take a little look inside, because it's definitely something that you need to address. Because me putting myself on the screen for you to hear, see everything, my emotions, my smile, my whatever, everything else that goes along with it. It makes me extremely vulnerable, but I'm okay with that. And you should be too, because nothing ever great is coming from you sitting inside of your comfort zone. Get uncomfortable. It's why I get into the cold plunge. It makes me uncomfortable. And it helps me deal better with uncomfortable situations in my life, because I know that I can survive basically hypothermia and near death on a daily basis. So why can I not survive a little bit of smack talk? It's not going to change my life. Not even a little bit. Now, on the other side of this, to all of you people from everywhere around the world that have sent little messages or words of wisdom, or have given me a thumbs up, a heart, and anything on just putting this little thing out there, you're incredible. It felt like I was getting a warm little hug from a tiny little guinea pig. As you can imagine what that would feel like. It would be adorable. And you're my humans. The ones that reached out, said hello, like I say, gave me a wave, gave me a thumbs up, gave me a heart, gave me a little bit more of a forward momentum. you guys are my people. And I think one of the crazier things is, my girlfriend and I have talked about this a few times, and she knows my past when it comes to my alcohol addiction and, all of the depression and loneliness and everything else that I went through. And I can tell you right now that changing my world from getting sober and surrounding myself with good people is something that everyone should be doing. I was having a rough morning this morning, and I had to figure out how to how to get through it and how to manage that thing that was happening. And it's funny, I'll show you exactly what happens in my day now. Is if I'm feeling nervous or anxious or stressed out about something, I write it out. Doesn't have to be neat, doesn't have to be tidy, but I write it out. I write it out as a book, or as a note rather, and I get my thoughts onto the page, and I try my best to take those thoughts out of my brain, put them onto the page, and then at the end of it, that's it. They're there. They're there. They're on the page now. They're no longer in my brain. That's how I've tried to separate my anxiety. I hate that word anxiety because everyone uses it nowadays. My stress, my emotions, my vulnerability, I put onto that page, and it helps me deal with the things. So, today was a business thing that I was struggling with, and all of a sudden I just kind of wrote it out. Like I said, I had this pit in my stomach, sweating, which, if you've ever met me, sometimes my nickname is Brad Pitts, because of my sweating, and it's usually brought on by nerves or stress of some kind. So like yesterday for my first day of work, I just completely sweat through my new shirt, which was embarrassing. And the more I think about it, the worse it gets, and the more I sweat and sweat and sweat. Anyway, what I mean though is that all of those things are now on the page. I've moved on. Like, now they're over there, they're in the other room. I leave them at home. I don't think about them. And if I need to come back and I need to read them again so that I can get them out of my brain one more time, or I need to add to it, come back and add to it. That's my thing. Anyway, back to the addiction thing is, if it's taught me anything, it's surrounding yourself with the people that are willing to be vulnerable. They're willing to talk through your problems or their problems, or face some criticism or take criticism, or take accountability. Accountability is a huge one for me. I'm never okay with someone just saying that it wasn't their fault. I'm like, if it was your fault, own up to it. If it's not your fault, come up with a solution, and don't just say it was me. It wasn't me, rather. Like, oh, why was this not done? I'm actually not sure. Maybe we can figure this out together. I'm not sure who it was, but let's see if we can figure it out. If it was partly me, that's cool. If it's not, that's great. But if someone comes to you and goes, why wasn't this done? Don't automatically go, it wasn't me. Like, it's not growth, I don't think. You're playing the victim all the time. Stop playing the victim. Like, everyone is having a shit day in some way, shape, or form. And if you can identify with that, and you can identify with the fact that everyone else is maybe having a terrible day as well, then life gets a little bit easier. Everyone's in the same little race. Some people might have more resources, more money, more friends. Stop comparing yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Comparison is just like an absolute poison. I think that it's a Mark Twain quote, or it's either Mark Twain or Jefferson. I'm not sure. I'll tell you here in a second. But what this means is compare. Ooh, got to learn how to spell here, Shipster. Let's see if it's the first one that pops up. There it is. That's the one. Comparison is the thief of all joy. And that was Theodore Roosevelt. Anyway, so stop comparing yourself with other people. They have other things that you don't have. That's okay. But I think just know that you're an incredible human being in every way, shape, and form. You might be thinking, why is this guy doing this podcast? And there's a method to my madness. It's more than just me talking into a mic or looking at the screen or anything like that. It's about connecting with you, sharing my journey, and hopefully inspiring you or someone. Doesn't matter who. Like whoever you are that's listening, if you are listening, face the criticism. Like, criticism isn't going to kill you. It's just going to make you stronger. So there's lots of things that people should definitely be or not be comparing themselves with other people. So anyway, that's my 10 cents today. So to all my positive people, the lovers, the dreamers, the fighters, thank you for being here on this journey with me. Your support means the world to me. I smile every time that someone says something nice. I smile every time someone says something negative, because a smile is way easier than a frown. And my mom always said, you were never fully dressed without a smile. So surround yourself with people that you love, and the rest will just follow. I'm Todd Shipster. I love you all.